What's going on, everybody? My name is Tech, and for 15 years I was the #1 seller of pre-owned men's clothing on eBay. But today, it's Thursday, I like to come with a quick hitter video. On Monday, we have the eBay World Domination videos where I usually hit the flea market, show you cool stuff, give you some BOLOs, give you some things to look out for. On Wednesday night, usually at 8 o'clock, depending on where I am in the world, I do the live Q&A, which is rapid fire, open Q&A for anybody. Go underneath the live chat, check those replays. A lot of good information on those. On Friday, I do the podcast, usually with a guest, sometimes solo, where we talk about reselling, elaborate on some thoughts, long form content. I understand not everybody's got a lot of time. So on Thursday, I like to come in one straight to the point as quick as possible on some kind of thought, idea, or something that I can help you get through the week, help your business, better your business. I figure if we do this 52 times, that's 52 things that we're better at, and then maybe it'll help you reach your goals. So something that we see a lot on social media, comparison is the thief of joy. And if you look around long enough, you'll find somebody who's doing better than you, making more sales than you, making more money than you. But at the end of the day, I plead, I beg everybody out there, we're running our own race. We each have our own trials and tribulations. We each have our own pros and cons. We each have our own strengths and weaknesses. And at the end of the day, if we can compare ourselves who we are today to who we were yesterday, and we are net better than who we were yesterday, there's been an improvement, even a 1% improvement, then that's mission accomplished. Because if you improve 1% every single day for 365 days, that is a tremendous improvement compounded over and over again. Social media is great. It allows me to make these videos and reach a bunch of people like you, try to help as much of people as possible, give some tips, give some tricks, brain dump all of this information that I have accumulated over the course of 15 years of running a reselling business at the highest levels. But also it can be the thief of joy, where we can see people doing better than us. We can see people doing different things better than us. We can see people that maybe don't have the same time constraints doing better than us, further along in their business than where we wish we could be or where we want to be. But we have to remember that comparison is the thief of joy. So that's why inside of the group, one of the best exercises that we've ever done, and I always lean back on, is the year-over-year graphs. And you can go to your sales tab and you can get graphs all the way back 2 or 3 years. Start developing these graphs. Plot them out on physical paper and pencil if you're not that good at Excel like me. I'm not that good at Excel, but I am good, like a caveman, with a chisel and a stone, writing it all out, making my plots, drawing my lines, coloring it in, and to see the growth that has come incrementally, which is very, very difficult to notice as resellers, and see that, yes, I have come a long way. Yes, last January, I was doing $3,000 a month. This year I'm doing $4,500 a month. That's a 50% increase, and it's hard to notice. Or last January I was doing $10,000 a month. This January I'm doing $15,000 a month. But without putting pencil to paper, without making some sort of Excel spreadsheet or some fancy technological thing that I'm not able to do, without keeping track of this stuff, there's no way for us to plot to see if we are doing better. Because with the way that eBay goes, the work that we do today doesn't pay off for 90 days. So it's really hard to see, to understand that us making this change, or us listing these great items, or us now sticking to our metrics does have a payoff, because it happens so slowly. Like you making an informed decision for your business today and saying, hey, from here on out, I'm just sticking to the metric. You don't feel that for weeks, for months, maybe several months. And if we're not plotting this stuff down and comparing ourselves who we are today versus who we are yesterday, it's very easy to get discouraged. One of the best things that I ever did to track inside of my business was these 4 things: number of items listed, number of items that met the metric, gross sales, and net profit. So number of items I listed per day. I want to make sure that I'm being consistent, that I'm as good as I was yesterday, listing my items every single day, making sure my schedule is the same, making sure, most importantly, that the result is the same every single day. That's what matters. I also want to see if I'm listing junk or I'm listing items that are worthwhile. How many of these items that I'm listed have met the metric? And we could do this on 1 or 2 fronts. One is how many items that I listed met the metric at time of listing and met the metric at time of sale. So we would be able to grade this if we're doing a good job pricing and we're picking up items that actually end up where we thought they would end up. on the sales side. So we can keep track of how many items we've listed that met the metric. We can also keep track of gross sales. That's the big number. How many dollars have sold today? And then we can keep track of net profit. After your fees, after your expenses, how much money actually goes into your pocket. And this is the great thing about being in business. This is the great thing about being an eBay seller. This number of gross sales, this number of dollars going into your pocket every single day will fluctuate. It will go up, it will go down, it will go up, it will go down. And in business, there's only one thing that you could be assured of, is that there will be a change. So luckily for each and every person out there, we all have something in common. I have something in common with each and every person out there. We're not in business for one day. So if you have a horrible one day, if you had to pay all of your bills for the entire year with the sales in one day, and you had a horrible one day, then you got big problems. But luckily enough for you, you have 364 more days where you can make up for a horrible one day. And that's the beautiful thing about being in business, is that we're open 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So we don't have to depend on all of our sales, all of our profit coming in one day. All of our sales, all of our profit coming in 1 week. All of our sales, all of our profit coming in 1 month. And if you start to get your year over year graphs, this is again very important, you can start to develop a budget for your business where you can start to operate your business based on your worst month. And if you have a good understanding of when your worst month is, historically speaking, you can go back a couple of years on the eBay sales tab. They have a calendar and you can set all of your metrics and your defaults, and it will go back several years. So even if you didn't do a good job of keeping track of this, you could go back today and you could develop your year over year calendars, which will show seasonality for your specific business, which again, your specific business is going to be different than a bunch of people that you see on social media, out and about at the bins. You know, when you go to Walmart, when you go to Target, when you go to Goodwill, a lot of people will ask, hey, sales are down, what about you? Some people will say yes, some people will say no, then what? Hey, eBay's been horrible for me, what about you? Some people will say yes, some people will say no, and then what? All we can do is stick to our core principles, our core foundations of our business. Trust the process, because not every single day eBay is going to be on the up and up with 100% uptime. They're going to have glitches. They're going to have mistakes. They're going to have things that go wrong. We're going to have unhappy customers. We're going to have people that might try to scam us from time to time. That's just part of doing business. So we must come to the understanding that the only thing that's ever going to happen is change. Change will always happen. Change is constant. If you want things to stay the same forever, maybe running your own business, maybe running your own eBay business, maybe you're running your own Poshmark business, your own reselling business, might not be the absolute thing that is going to remain constant the same forever. There will be fluctuations. There will be seasonality. There will be times when you are hitting home runs and everybody else is striking out. There might be times when you're striking out and everybody else is hitting home runs, but we have to understand that that's just part of the game. So what can we do that's inside of our control to make sure that we have the most desirable outcome as possible? And what this is making sure that we're listing the best items that we absolutely can in the best way that we absolutely can, and provide the best service that we absolutely can for the customer in the best interest of the customer. And I promise you, I don't make promises, but eBay will reward you. If you list the best items, the best way that you can, proper keywords, proper pricing, a great return policy, everything is for the best interest of the customer, eBay will reward you. A lot of thing with eBay is incremental change. A lot of thing with reselling is incremental changes. If you have a store full of bad products that you bought before you knew better, that's okay. Your mission, your duty, your obligation, your goal is to, every single time that you sell one of those items that is less than, replace it with an item that is more than. So every single time that you replace an item that you've had too long and didn't make enough profit on, you need to take that money, the principal, the original cost of goods, and the profit, if you're able to, and replace that item with a better item in the same parking spot of your store. And this is going to be a slow, grueling, long process, but this is how you do it. There is no way to revamp everything overnight in 1 second, in 1 day. That's just part of the process, part of the journey. And if you have old items on eBay that need to get replaced, Every single person here listening to this should be a better reseller today than who they were when they first originally purchased that item. And we should be able to say, you know what? These 100 items in our store, these 1,000 items in my store, even if I broke even on them, I would sell them all today without a second of hesitation, because just giving me that original principle, that $500 that's locked in cost of goods in these items that are not moving, given that $500, I could do a bunch of damage with that, because I am a better reseller today than when I was 3 months ago, 6 months ago, 1 year ago, when I made these mistakes and I bought these items. And you'll see people, you'll meet people who start eBay and start getting off running. You'll see people, you meet people who start eBay and they have a little bit of a tougher time. eBay reselling is tough. It's not easy. If it was easy, everybody would do it, because it is the ultimate glitch in the matrix, which allows us to invest $5, $1, $7, $10, multiply the money relatively quickly. And then if we do it right, we can go on and do it again. But remember, comparison is the thief of joy. Compare yourself who you are today to who you were yesterday. And hopefully you are a better person. Hopefully you are better at photos. Hopefully you are better at process. Hopefully you are better at schedule and time management. Hopefully you are better with your bookkeeping. We have a great spreadsheet in the group by James and Jean Queen. They've made it for us. And a lot of people are really excited to do the numbers. And every 5th of the month, we meet and we do the numbers to make sure that we're right where we need to be, that we're reaching these milestones. And if we're not, what do we have to do to change? So like, a lot of people are very excited for the first time in their life and in their eBay career about knowing the numbers. So a couple of things that worked really well for me during my eBay career. Focus on what's actionable. There's a lot of noise out there, you know, whether in your family, in your friend circle, on social media, off social media, at the flea market, at the bins. There's a lot of negativity in there. Focus on your actions. Focus on what you could do. I always try to be action driven, because I know if I put forth the right input, then the output should be just as right. Where if we put no input, then the output is going to be nothing either. So make sure you're surrounding yourself with good people. Make sure you're surrounding yourself with good resellers, with good friends, good family. Like they say, you're the sum of the 5 people that you hang around. And I always want my circle of 5 people to be nothing but winners. So make sure you are picking the right people to be around, supportive, share ideas, brainstorm, mastermind together, what's working, what's not working, have a coffee, meet on Zoom, get into some kind of network or group. It will pay off dividends. Reselling is very lonely, so it's very difficult to maybe be a self-starter. It's very difficult to maybe not self-sabotage, but try to get a schedule, try to maintain the same result every single day. Try to work within things inside of your control. Don't worry about the things outside of your control. There's a lot going on in the world. There's a lot going on in the news. There's a lot going on everywhere where we can point to and have that set us back. Point to and have that be our difficulty or struggle for the day. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what's going on anywhere out there in the world. It doesn't matter what a YouTube video says. It doesn't matter what's going on in the community, your community. It doesn't matter what's going on eBay, outside of eBay, at the bins. If your sales are not good, someone else's is. Yours traffic is not good, somebody else's is. If you're living and dying every single day by the traffic tab and the spikes, the peaks and the valleys, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you're running your own race, you're in charge of your own business, and if you're happy, you're making money, and you're paying your bills, that's what matters. Improve on that every single day, little by little, incremental compounding growth. This is a marathon, not a sprint. And make sure that every single day you're just getting a little bit better. In a couple of weeks, a couple of months, you can poke your head out. Like Charlotte said in the morning call, when in doubt, zoom out. Zoom out on the graph. Look at your year to year. Look at as much data as you have if you don't have a year. When in doubt, zoom out, and you'll have something to be proud of as you see that graph go up and to the right. So I hope this video was helpful. As always, be great. Thank you.